Hey Sagittarius, welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree and I will be doing your money, wealth, finance, prosperity, abundance reading for the month of June 2021. If this is your first time catching one of my readings, I do want to say welcome and I invite you to subscribe because I do these readings each and every month and I would love to share your money message with you. Before we get started, if you do hear my fan going in the background, I apologize in advance, but I live in Las Vegas and it is excruciatingly hot and I tend to get overheated when I do these readings, so I don't want to pass out while I'm recording this, so I do have my fan going. For the readings this month, I will be using my Morgan Greer Tarot deck. I will also use my Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot. And then, Sagittarius, I will close out your reading with a Eternal Crystals Oracle card. I think that is it as far as my intro. So let's go ahead and get right to it. What do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of June 2021? What do we need to know for the sign of Sag? Interesting, Sag. You've got good stuff showing up here. I want to say you're going on a new adventure. Could be a new job even for some of you, a whole new business. But I'm also picking up that maybe you're not ready. And I don't like to say that because when I see what's coming down the horizon here, I hope you get ready, but I'm feeling like you're just not ready, Sagittarius. Why? Because I see King of Cups and the Knight of Cups here in the reverse. Okay, so we've got the Fool card. The Fool card means definitely you're going on a new path, a new journey. You're going in a new direction as it relates to your money. Could be your career, could be your business. You're investing, whatever it is that you do. You're going in a new, bigger, bolder direction with that. However, I'm picking up very much so energetically, you're not ready for this. And it's not because you don't want it, but I'm feeling like emotionally, it's like you're trying to process something, Sagittarius. And maybe emotions are holding you back in this situation. So, I guess what I can say is I understand money, finances are heavily tied to emotions. I get that. But you have to figure out a way, Sagittarius, to not allow your emotions to get in the way of your money flow, your abundance, your creativity, your ability to attract what you want, because clearly you have good stuff coming. I can see that clearly with the Ace of Wands, the World card, and the Queen of Wands. These cards have to do with work, good things having to do with work, good things having to do with business, the world showing up for you big, boldly, brightly. But like I said, the King of Cups and the Knight of Cups in the reverse tell me that there's something emotional going on that's getting in the way. So now this obviously isn't going to apply to everybody, but I do feel like there's an underlying emotional thing going on energetically, and sometimes that can affect us and our ability to make the money we want to make, or even to receive the money we want to make, right? Because sometimes some of us, and I know because I've been there, some of us struggle with, do we deserve more? Are we worthy of more? And again, I'm not saying that's everybody, but I'm picking up that there's a little bit of that stuff going on for some of you, Sagittarius. Now, on the flip side, sometimes our emotions get so buried that sometimes we have a tendency to cut them off and we don't feel anything, right? And sometimes that works in our favor, but usually that's a very temporary thing because eventually the emotions will show up somehow, some way. So I do want to say that you have some really good stuff happening at the beginning of June, but I'm just a little concerned about how you may interpret these things. You may not see them as good opportunities, again, because your emotions can kind of cloud your judgment. But you've got a brand new something starting here. Could be a new job, could be a business that recently launched and now it's starting to take off and you're starting to really enjoy it and you're like, yes, you know, this is exactly what I want. I also see the World card here. This is the end of a cycle. This is completion. This could even be travel, world travel, global travel for some of you. But the meaning of the card here is literally the world is showing up at your feet. The world is giving you everything that you need and desire in order to create the life you want. This is very powerful, especially when we talk about money and finances, because a lot of us always feel like we don't have what we need in order to take our finances to that next level. Okay, Queen of Rods. This is a very grounded, stable energy card. The thing about the Queen of Wands, I know this deck calls it rods, but I call it wands. The Queen of Wands, she's a very evenly balanced, grounded energy. Okay, so I like seeing her here because that tells me whatever type of emotional stuff was going on, it looks like it kind of resolves itself by the time we close out the first week of June. Now this is really, really good because again, I see the opportunities coming for you, Sagittarius, and you just have to be in the right headspace in order to see it that way too. You know, like you have to be able to see it in a way that you don't judge it as a problem and you see this as a solution or as an opportunity. Again, because I mean, honestly, when I look at these two cards, I just feel like this is something new, something that you want, and it's working out. It's working in your favor. The money is there, the opportunity is there, the customers, the clients, the business, the investments, everything is right there for you. All right, so let's continue on. Ooh, Sagittarius, and see what else shows up for you as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of June 2021. All right, so you see way more cards came out than I was expecting, but it is okay. I will go with it. All right, so when all is said and done, looks like things are going to go really well. All right, because I've got the Nine of Cups here. But let's start here. Ten of Pentacles. That tells me there's going to be some type of group work going on. There's going to be collaborations, partnerships. It's like you're not going to be working alone. You're going to be making money alongside other people. Okay, so that could be co-workers, it could be business partners, it could even be you know, working with other colleagues, other entrepreneurs, you know, networking with people, and you guys are working together and everybody's making money. That's a really good sign. Next we have the Four of Swords here. The Four of Swords talks about taking a step back, retreat, withdrawal, sometimes just taking on the position of being an observer first as opposed to just jumping in and doing. So I do see a little bit of that here where you're going to probably take a step back just so you can kind of really examine and then re-examine the full situation. And then once you figure it out, you will slowly kind of move back into money-making mode. But I think this is a wise move, you know, if you just kind of take a little temporary step back and really, again, observe what's going on. That's definitely going to serve you well. And I think it's also going to save you some money here. We also have the Four of Pentacles. Now, sometimes people like to call this the tightwad card. I don't see it as that. I see it more as it's like you're not spending unnecessarily, which is why I see it next to the Four of Swords here. Remember, this is a 4 and this is a 4. So there's definitely a connection between these two cards here. And I think when you do take a step back and you observe your situation, what you do for work, how you can do it, can you be more productive with less effort? Can you make the same amount of money with less, maybe you can cut costs in some way. Now, I'm not saying to be cheap, but at the same time, you probably can be a little bit more frugal, maybe a little bit more financially, what would the word be? A little bit more financially conservative, and looks like it's going to pay off, looks like it's going to allow you to kind of save some money. Maybe you don't have to spend as much to make as much. So we talked about the Nine of Cups here. This is the literal wish card. Whatever you've been wishing for, hoping for, it does show up in some way, shape, or form once we hit the second week of June. I love this card. I love seeing this little guy because he tells us that what we want is definitely on the way. As it relates to money, those of you who have been wishing for something money related, it looks like it's going to start showing up for you the second week of June. Now we have the Lovers card in the reverse. This is a divine disconnection. I'm feeling like this is going to be a gracious separation of something. Again, it's probably going to save you money, or there's going to be a benefit to you financially doing this. It could be the dissolution of a relationship. It could be gracefully walking away from a job that no longer serves you. Maybe it's allowing a child to move out and be on their own, and to be financially responsible for themselves, and that kind of gives you a little bit more money to play with every month. Whatever the case may be, it's not going to be something that is upsetting or difficult. I mean, it may be a little sad if it is, maybe a child moving out, or something like that, or the end of a relationship. But like I said, when I look at this card, I feel like it is a very graceful moving away. It is a very loving parting of ways where people decide, they still care, but they're deciding to go in just a different direction. And like I said, because of that, that is going to benefit you financially in some way. If you're not living with someone, you maybe have less bills to pay, whatever the case may be. Next, we have the Three of Wands here. The Three of Wands is talking about changes to some future planning here. And now I'm not surprised because we do have this graceful separation going on. But the Three of Wands talks about planning for the future. For some of you, this could be retirement. It could be investing. For some of you, it could be even as far as maybe savings, maybe even deciding where you're going to move to when you do retire. But whatever the case may be, we do have some future planning happening here. Finally, we have the King of Swords. Now, the King of Swords, when he's in the reverse, this is sometimes a very aggressive cutting off of something. Something aggressively stops here. Why? Because the King of Swords has a no-nonsense kind of energy about him. So there probably will be something that you abruptly decide to cut off. Again, there will be a money or a financial connection to it. Sometimes you can do that a little bit too hastily. So understand that that's always a possibility. If you say no to something, really think it through and really look at all the financial consequences of cutting something off. And don't be so quick to do that, right? Take your time, really study all the details, look at the situation from every possible angle, and then make a decision before you move forward. All right, Sagittarius, let's continue on and see what else is showing up for you as it relates to... My goodness, the cards are flying all over the place today, but they're beautiful cards. All right, so what else do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius? Nice. As it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance. For the month of June 2021, All right, Sagittarius, looks like by the time we hit the second half of June, so we've got some new fun overflow emotions going on. Now, the first week in the month, we talked about some emotional stuff going on here that does affect your finances. But then we have something new and wonderful starting by the time we hit the second half of June. This could be a passion project. This could be you getting your dream job. You know, was that what you were wishing for? This could also be the start of a brand new relationship, which is very exciting. Whatever it is, your emotions are definitely flowing over abundantly in the positive, and that's really, really good. You're really in that flow. Things are just going really, really well. And again, that also contributes to your money and your creative flow as well. You also have the Magician card. The Magician is the card of alchemy. The Magician talks about using what he has in order to create what he wants and what he needs. He's never lacking for nothing. What he doesn't have in tools, he does have in the mental capacity, and he figures out how to make things work for himself. I love this card because this is just the card of I mean, yes, it's a creative energy, but it's bigger than that. It's really just having the power and the knowledge to know that you will have everything at your disposal when you need it. It's a very powerful card for those of you who are in business and who are entrepreneurs, because this means that you're lacking for nothing. Now, just because you don't have money for something, maybe equipment, tools, whatever, doesn't mean that there isn't another way that you can get it, and you definitely figure it out. How do I know? Because you've got the Knight of Wands next. The Knight of Wands is assistance in your work. This is somebody showing up, coming through for you. May not necessarily be a person, but you do have some type of help coming your way. And this is definitely going to help you do your job better. It's going to help you be better at what you do. Could be somebody loaning you some tools, loaning you some money, maybe somebody who partners with you and decides to work together on a project. Whatever the case may be, maybe someone gives you some advice, maybe someone gives you some information that helps you do whatever it is you do and helps you make more money. It's a good thing. We also got the Nine of Wands here. Now, interesting to see that, but not surprising. The Nine of Wands is a card of sometimes feeling a little discouraged and frustrated. You know, it's normal. Everybody has those moments where we just kind of feel like things are a little off. Don't take it too seriously. It looks like it's going to be something temporary. It's part of the ups and downs of life, business, work, all those things. Next, we have the Nine of Swords in the reverse. I like to see this card in the reverse because it talks about releasing anxiety, releasing overwhelmed, or the feeling of being overwhelmed, I should say. We also have the Nine of Pentacles. This is the luxury card. Be a little careful that you don't kind of overspend. When I see her, sometimes we can, I mean, we all need to indulge and splurge from time to time. Just make sure you're not doing it too much. But when you've got so many good things going on, Sagittarius, I know it can be hard. Sometimes we all get caught up in that of having a little bit too much fun. But just be careful, right? Don't overextend yourself unnecessarily. All right, so what else do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of June 2021. I felt that last card, the Hermit, coming out. Now I feel like I need to pull one more. Ah, and there it is. Beautiful. Okay. So, Sagittarius, your month is going to end really strong, very positively. However, there are some things we need to pay attention to, okay? I mean, this is really good. Ace of Pentacles and the Sun card and the Hermit card. But there's some things we need to pay attention to. Okay, let's start with the Moon. Now, the Moon talks about information, things are hidden. the moon talks about things that are unseen, right? So there's something that you don't know. Now, a lot of the signs have been getting this card, which I find kind of interesting, but there's something that we don't know. And it's kind of showing up around the same time, which is the second half towards the end of June for several of the signs. So I'm wondering if this is not something globally as opposed to sign specific. But I'm picking up there's something that we don't know, could be as a collective, since I'm seeing this card repeatedly. The thing about the moon is, remember, the moon functions in cycles, right? So this cycle could be the cycle where we don't know the specifics, but eventually whatever is hidden will be revealed. Whatever is not seen eventually will be seen. Okay, so you have to understand that you're at the vantage point right now that you may not have all the information that you need in order to do something, make a decision, move forward, whatever. Okay, so understand that there's something that you just don't know right now, and you're going to have to do the best you can with the information that you do have. But we also have the Ace of Pentacles. Now, the Ace of Pentacles is a fun card because it talks about the start of a brand new business, and it fell onto the Ace of Cups, which means it could be the start of a brand new passion project for some of you. This is really, really exciting. Now, the other thing that's been interesting with these Pentacle cards, when I see the coins, yes, you know me, this could also be a Bitcoin card. Now, I'm not saying that anything specific is going to happen around this time with Bitcoin, but I do pick up that this is going to be a good time to either learn or get involved with Bitcoin for those of you who are not already involved in cryptocurrency. You all know that I love crypto. I don't talk a lot about it, but sometimes I guess because I'm so into it, sometimes it comes through in some of my readings, and I have done private readings for some of you about it. But I do sense that there's going to definitely be an opportunity here for some of you to invest in cryptocurrency if you're not already. Again, if this resonates with you, run with it. If it doesn't, you can totally ignore it. I'm not giving anybody financial advice, of course, but I am saying to keep your eyes and your options open and to learn about what is available out there and what is available to you. Next, we have the Three of Pentacles. Now, the Three of Pentacles talks about you probably not getting... It's like sometimes when you get a customer, but you don't really want the customer. I know it sounds crazy, but I've been in this position where, you know, especially sometimes if you work in sales or if you work in corporate, sometimes you have clients and you don't want to deal with those particular clients. It's like you almost would prefer not to get their business. I'm feeling like that could happen here. The other thing about it is I have a feeling that you might just be saying no. Someone wants to hire you and they say, oh yes, can you come and do whatever? And you're like, I don't think so. I think I'm going to pass on that. You know, I have a feeling like you're either going to be turning down work, or it could be like a customer from hell situation. Next, we have the Five of Cups in the reverse. This is walking away with no regrets. Now, because I talked about here, this could be a situation where you say no. Looks like you're doing the right thing, because here this Five of Cups tells me that there's no regrets. You make the decision and you move on. You don't have any hesitation, no doubts that you did the right thing, because this looks like it could be a headache situation. Next, we have the Death card in the reverse. Now, this is a slow transforming change here. Looks like by the time we close out June, you're going to be going through some big life changes towards the end of the month, Sagittarius. But they're going to happen slowly, which I think is going to be a good thing, because that gives you time to adapt, gives you time to really kind of process everything that's going on, especially your finances. So don't feel overwhelmed or afraid if things just start shifting for you and energetically you start feeling financially that your situation is changing, because definitely it will be changing for the better. However, it may be a little uncomfortable during some of those changes. Next, we have the Hermit card. Now, I love this card because this is the card of really going within and really spending time with ourselves and asking ourselves and doing that deep soul-searching work of what it is that we want. How do we want our life to look? How do we want to serve other people so we can, in turn, serve ourselves by being financially rewarded by helping people, you know, do whatever it is they do better. Now, it doesn't matter how you serve, right? As long as you help people in some way, as long as you make the world a better place, you will be compensated gloriously for that. You just have to figure out what is your gift and how are you going to use that gift to help other people. That's really the bottom line here. So it looks like you're going to be doing some soul searching by the time we close out the month, and it's all going to work out beautifully. The Sun, the most positive card in the deck, it talks about yes. The answer is a big, bold yes. It's exciting, it's beautiful, it's clean, clear, and bright. It is just everything wonderful and more. Okay, so financially, you've got a really good month ahead, Sagittarius. Again, I hope you're ready for it, because it looks like things just happen in such a beautiful systemic way for you. All right, let's go ahead and close out your reading, Sag, with a Eternal Crystals Oracle card. Oh, okay, so you got card number 32. And I may be pronouncing these wrong, so if you guys know the correct way to pronounce this, please correct me. I am very open to learning. But this is card number 32, Pipestone, and it's Catlinite. Am I saying that right? I'm not sure. Looks like it's a beautiful red stone. The focus is on the ancestors and the root chakra. So that is pretty interesting, because I didn't really feel that energy in the reading. But again, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that this card isn't still something that we can kind of examine for ourselves. So pay attention to your root chakra this month, Sagittarius, you know, and connect with your ancestors however you do that. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, observations, please drop them down below. I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. We'll do it all again next month.